Rev up your engines!
Well, I just read an article called Three-Cylinder Ford EcoBoost Engine Use Part of Larger Trend. Yeah, it is part of a larger trend. A trend for building smaller, crappier vehicles. I've seen those EcoBoost three-cylinder engines blow up. They don't have the energy. Americans like driving fast. You get a three-cylinder engine, the only way you can make it fast is by turbocharging it. And it's going to wear out much faster, and they do. I see these engines blowing up, burning oil. They can't take America's driving. And the rest of the world, they've had three-cylinder engines. They've even had two-cylinder engines in France. If you drive small distances, drive like a turtle, they can hold up, but not in the United States. Because in the United States, 96% of the people drive automatic transmissions. And if you have a little three-cylinder engine and it's an automatic transmission, it's going to have a heck of a time trying to pull itself down the road. They don't have the power that a manual transmission has. It's just absurd. And yeah, it is part of a trend. Of course, this particular article is about Ford and three-cylinder engines, right? Well, think about it. Ford leads the world in recalls. The most recalled cars for the last 2 years, and this year looks like they're still going to be on the top of most recalled cars. They have no quality, so that's their idea. Let's make smaller, crappier engines. That's a great idea. Now, of course, other people will follow up because guess what? Three-cylinder engines are cheaper to make. It's the same thing as CVT transmissions versus automatic transmissions. It's cheaper to make a CVT transmission. Right? The automatics cost more. The automatics are better. Ask any engineer, they'll tell you they're better, but they cost more money. So, today, sadly enough, you buy a Toyota Corolla, you got to get a CVT. But you can get a RAV4 and you can get a Camry with an automatic transmission. They cost more, but they're better made. It's the same thing. It's the only reason they're making three-cylinder engines. They're cheaper to make, and then they force us with crappy engines that don't last as long. Here you can see all these Broncos lined up, and what does it say? New Ford inventory remains high. Yeah, you know why? Because nobody wants to buy the things. Yeah, their inventory's up there because nobody wants to buy. Look at Toyota. Their inventory is actually pretty low. It's like less than a third of the inventory of days of cars than Ford is because people are buying the Toyotas, and they're not buying the Fords. They are quality control. They keep having problems after problems. I just had a guy come over here. I said, how come you're driving a Honda truck? He said, you know, I've had a Dodge truck and it was a piece of crap. So I thought I'd try Ford. He said, I got an F-150 and it was a piece of crap. So I got a Honda, and 200,000 miles later, the Honda's still running fine. He didn't even get 80,000 miles out of the out of the F-150 before they started falling apart. So guess what, people? You know, yeah, you got a lot of Fords lying around because nobody wants to buy the stupid things. The quality's down. The price is up. Look what Ford just did. They just raised the price of their F-150s even further. That's where they make their money. They think, what's where they make money? We'll raise the price. What? You're chasing your own customers away, and all I got to say is, ha, ha, ha. When your customers have all gone to another manufacturer, and you're going to find exactly what happened in the 80s, 90s. People used to buy American cars then, started buying Toyotas and Hondas, and then they found out, wow, these Toyotas and Hondas don't break much. And so all those people now buy Toyotas and Hondas. And that's one of the reasons for GM, Chrysler, they really don't make that many cars, hardly any cars anymore, because they can't compete against the companies that make reliable vehicles that hold up. But by these numbers, this tells you that the actual power of American automakers is going down to just about zilch. This is a spit in the bucket in terms of economics, people. You can see these companies are fading away. General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, they are fading away. You know why? Because they make crappy products. And they're overpriced. The other day, guy came to me. He bought a Toyota pickup truck. I said, oh, smart move. Why'd you buy the Toyota? He said, well, you know, I really wanted a loaded F-150, right? And he said, I went to the Ford dealer, and a loaded F-150 was $83,000. And I said, well, it's a good thing you bought the Toyota because not only was it cheaper, but they don't have all the recalls that Ford has. They have better quality control. They make better vehicles, right? And he got a Tundra, which is made in San Antonio. So it's made in the United States, right? These people are going to find out one day when they wake up and smell the coffee. They say, we're going to be your electric car company, like GM says. We're going to make all the electric cars. All right. They sold like 670,000 cars the last quarter in GM. 20,000 of them were electric cars. I don't say they're going to be the electric car company by any stretch of the imagination, right? But sad but true with the workers is their jobs are going to disappear regardless. Just like coal miners, their jobs are generally going to disappear regardless of the way society is going, right? And in the case of GM, Ford, Chrysler, hey, people want reliable cars that don't cost too much money. People say, well, you know, the average cost of a new car is now $49,000. Yeah, not if you buy a Toyota Corolla, you can get them for 21 grand, right? The problem is the Americans charge so much money for this stuff that they're going to chase people away, and they are, just like they chased that customer mine away. He was perfectly content to buy a loaded F-150 until he saw it was 83 grand, so he bought a Tundra instead. So this union stuff, it's kind of like rearranging the deck of the Titanic as it's sinking down. Whatever agreements they come to, it really isn't going to make all that much difference because they don't make products that last. People are shying away from them. Look at cars. They only make a couple of cars now. All they make is SUVs and trucks. Oh, there's profit, not there's profit. People still want cars, baby. They're buying Honda Accords. They're buying Camrys. They're buying Corollas. They're buying Civics. They're just not buying American versions because they don't even exist anymore. Well, I can't believe the horse manure that I read. Listen to this article that was in this thing called Inside EVs. Of course, it's electric vehicle propaganda. Here's the title. Tesla prices fall below average U.S. car costs. Model 3 on par with Toyota Corolla. What a load of horse manure. These people just dissipate lies, lies, and more lies. Here's their own figure. The Tesla Model 3 costs $38,990. And in their own article, it says, the Toyota Corolla's entry price is $21,900. Now, how you can say they're on par with each other is beyond me. They just are a bunch of idiots. Then they say, well, the money you spend in this, the money you spend in that. I just got an email from someone who rented a Tesla Model 3. And it said they took a trip of like 500 miles. And every time they filled the vehicle up with electricity, fill it up, whatever you want to charge it up, right? It cost them $10 more than it would have with their other car by gasoline. And that's where it stands now. It'll get worse. Don't keep raising the price of electricity. I'm in Rhode Island. They're raising our electric rates another 37% because they're building those stupid wind turbines that don't create hardly any electricity, but we have to pay for it because you live there. They're getting electricity there. You got to pay for the machines that make it, right? And even though it's subsidized by the government, ultimately it's subsidized by us. The government doesn't have its own business. They take our tax dollars and spend it, right? So we're all paying for this crap, right? And then these places have the lies, the absolute gall, this Inside EV of saying, oh, look, it's on par with the Toyota Corolla. No, it isn't. One, it's $17,000 more for the Model 3, right? And this is on a car that's $21,000, the Corolla, so it's almost twice the price, right? How they can say it's on par? They just make up these stories, and poor people read the stuff and they believe it. They think it's real. It's just total horse manure that these people are throwing out. Total horse manure. It's on par with the Toyota Corolla. What a bunch of nonsense. Plus, Toyota Corollas, they can go 400, 500, 600,000 miles. You're going to see that many Teslas going that far before the battery goes bad. Something major breaks on them. They get in a wreck. They got unibody construction with special molds that when they get in a small wreck, like my neighbor's friend had one here in Rhode Island, he hit a curb, they totaled the car. You hit a curb with the Toyota Corolla, you get it fixed. Not those. Well, it dented the battery, it broke the motor, so they totaled the car. Even only had 30,000 miles on it. They are not comparable. And anybody who says they are is so full of BS. These electric car people are just trying to foist this crap upon people with lies. Well, I love this. Finally, an NFL player who drives a Toyota and isn't greedy for all that bling bling. Look at me. Brock Purdy, the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, is a really good quarterback, right? He splits his rent with a roommate. He does live in San Francisco. It costs a lot of money. And he drives a Toyota SUV. Well, kudos to Brock Purdy. I'll have to become a San Francisco fan again. I was ages ago. Joe Montana was quarterbacking him, but I'll have to become a San Francisco fan again. He's got a roommate. He's driving a Toyota SUV. Hey, kudos to Brock Purdy. I was kind of giving up on the NFL. I can't stand the advertisements, the horrendous officiating. Probably has something to do with gambling, you know. I mean, there's so much gambling on football now. Don't think games aren't fixed. Any fool can see a bunch of these games are fixed. Maybe it doesn't show who wins the game, but they always beat the spread, right? So the thing is, a lot of illegal gambling going on in the NFL. I was getting kind of sick of even watching it, you know. Guys on teams that have lost 14 games in a row, and they finally score a touchdown, and they're jumping around like they just, you know, figured out the meaning of life, and they're all excited, right? I mean, it's unbelievable, the horse manure in that league. But I got to say, Brock Purdy, you got class. And I'm going to root from San Francisco from now on. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.